All right, we are back. It was a wild weekend in football, boys. I think I won maybe one or two bets, which is better than my norm this year. So there's that. Um, but it was rough. That Chargers game about killed me. I about wanted to stop watching football forever. I was like, this is the easiest bet I've ever placed. And then Jacksonville was like, not so fast because the curse of the Chargers.
Guess who live bet Jacksonville money line at halftime?
I wish I would have just waited. I bet
what were the odds at halftime?
Money line to start. 1,200
plus
right?
1,400 or 1,200. Yeah. So they scored going into half, and I was like, You know what? They're only down by 20 now. This is worth risking some money on. And I'm watching it happen. And I'm like, I was messaging in the chat. What do I do? What do I do?
You just don't bet against. You don't bet against Dougie P. Oh, I know. Did you? You didn't cash out, did you?
No, I let it ride.
Yeah, I was like, just let it ride, dude.
What was the win? What did you get?
It was $5 to win 65. So that basically covered the rest. That covered the rest of my betting for the rest of the weekend, and then I still have money for this weekend off of just that. I also did. This is the part that killed me the past weekend. The scores of the games. The only one that really shocked me was Tampa Bay, Dallas. I didn't think it would be that bad.
Yeah,
but I had 4 same game parlays that lost on one leg, and it was for over in either receiving yards and passing yards combined. The 4 picks that I missed on combined missed by 8 yards.
Justin Jefferson had like
Kirk
90
Cousins
catches
over
for like
275, and he had 273. I took Kirk.
I hope no one did a prop parlay on Mar to hit extra points.
Dude, someone did a anytime touchdown score and actually had Beasley.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and so the last one they needed was Otten in the Tampa Bay game, Dallas game, and he caught one at the 2-yard line and almost fell into the end zone. It was like $12 to pay $54,000.
Oh,
jeez.
The one that killed me in that game, I had everything right. I had the over on Godwin, the over on Evans, the over on Brady. I needed an Evans touchdown, which hit him in the hands on that first play after the on. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Well, last game we see Brady in a Tampa uniform, but we'll see him. We'll see him in Miami real soon.
Oh, gross.
1,000%.
Jacksonville's riding high here, but they're coming into Kansas City, which is never easy lately, especially this time of year. Jacksonville, like I said, Jacksonville at Kansas City at Arrowhead. Justin, what's the line?
9, I believe. Let me just go back to it real quick here. Yeah. So Chiefs are favored by 9. Over under 52.5.
So -9.
It's a lot of points.
Yeah, Ryan got it, I guess, a little higher. I'll read Ryan's first here. He's got the winner.
You said over under what, 59?
52.5.
52. Got it.
Ryan's got the winner as Kansas City, saying the Jags offense has been hot, but if they get into trouble like they did in the first half versus the Chargers last week, I don't see them coming back this time against Mahomes and company. He's betting the under 53, so I guess 52.5 here. Kansas City games have gone over this number only twice since the first game versus Jacksonville, and that 27-17 score, but reversed as the Jags won, feels right for this game. So he's going with the under here. Oh, man. I'll let you guys go first here because I'm still.
Didn't every game except Tampa Bay last week hit the over?
I think so. It would have had to, right? There were.
I think every game
shootouts.
except Tampa Bay Dallas hit the over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points, though.
Chiefs
That's a
and
lot of points.
Jags, their first game. Did he say it was 44 when they played this season? Chiefs won by 10. So being that it's -9, I don't know.
I'm going with the under. I'm gonna ride that. I think
Kevin. We're taking the under at 52.5, right?
52.5. Yeah.
All right, 52.5.
I might go over.
I'd go over if I thought the Jaguars could put together a complete game. You know?
I'm going to take Jags +9 and the over.
Oh, that's the other thing, though. The Chiefs don't cover ever.
Yeah.
anymore. I want to actually look that. I don't know the exact number on it, but I could look it up real quick. Covers.com. Do you guys do those?
No.
Covers.com. It's so
I feel
good.
like that would be a duvet website, but okay.
No, it's so good. It shows you like the matchup. Let me see Kansas City stats, betting info, and it shows you if they hit the over or under in their game, what they did against the spread, what their record is. So this season, their record against the spread is 5-11.
Oh,
They just don't cover. They win. They were 14-3. They just don't cover like ever. And over under was
That's-
8-9. So
I'd
it's
say
like
add Jacksonville +9 to my card.
okay.
ooh, I like it.
Oh, shoot, Kevin. Now they're not going to do it.
Yeah,
That's something else.
I like that.
I'm
That's
going
a-
over,
Okay.
just over though for now.
Okay. So
Wait,
I got.
you went.
All
where'd
right.
you go?
Justin and myself have the over. I have +9. You and Ryan have the under. Kevin, you have +9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, looks
But
like
we all
Jags.
think Kansas City's going to win this game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They lose Tyreek Hill, still have their best offensive year ever. They're so good that no one realizes they're that good. We've just gotten so used to them being that good. It's like, oh, they didn't really have a great year, and it's like we're talking about the Bills, the Bengals,
The
Kansas City's
Dolphins
still
got
there.
a lot of love at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Like they were
Kansas City
14-3.
is still there.
They were 14-3, and they got the least love of any 14-3 team I think ever.
Yeah, they really did. And they're well coached. They have players that have done it before. There's everything's start checking boxes.
Also, Andy Reid GOAT comment today when asked about are you looking forward to playing in Germany next season? He said, I'm looking forward to having a bratwurst. I love that man.
Don't
We
ever
deserve
change.
Andy
Don't
Reid.
ever change. We don't deserve him. He's an incredible human being. We don't deserve him.
Yeah. All right. This next game is going to have both of you a little bit more intently watching. New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. The link is going to be hopping. 8:15 p.m. start Eastern time. It's going to be crazy. Plenty of Giants fans, I'm sure, will be there. Let's go with Ryan's thoughts first. He's saying Philadelphia will be the winner, but this game will be tight. I think the Eagles remind everyone why they're the number one seed. They're the healthiest they've been since at least Christmas, and they walloped the Giants in mid-December with starting rosters for both squads. Ryan's betting the Giants +7.5 because the line is too large. Philly is only 2-7 all-time against the spread versus divisional opponents. I think the groove of the Giants got in last week will keep this one close. And he's also saying, hopefully for my sanity, not within the last second field goal or anything. Yeah.
What's the over-under?
So over-under is 48 even. And like you said, the line's Eagles -7.5, which is absolutely bonkers insane. I don't know why it's that high.
Give me the under. I think that's an easy under.
Okay, Kevin's taking the under at 48.
So
we know how divisional play goes.
So I'm going over. When these teams played the first time around, when both teams were healthy, the Eagles beat them 48-22. Eagles put up 48 on their own, and the over-under right now is 48. I don't think they put up that much. I think they put up 31-38, and I think that you get another 28 from 20.
I think the Giants' running game controls the clock here. I think it keeps it low.
I don't think they can run on us.
Find out.
Saquon has had a couple good games, but he normally doesn't play that well against the Eagles.
So none of us are touching the spread.
Ryan's doing +7.5.
The Giants is pretty good. Yeah,
I'll do Giants.
Got +7.5.
I would do Giants +7.5 too. I don't believe we beat them by more than a touchdown.
Okay, 7.5.
That's
Kevin, you're taking 7.52?
No, just the under.
Okay.
Although,
all right, got it.
Here's the deal though. I feel like they're begging us to take Giants +7.5, right? Because like the way that last game went, it looked pretty rough. The Giants kind of would have backdoor covered this number. We beat them by 6. But again, what I've been saying this whole entire time against or about the Giants versus the Eagles, that last game that they played, Hurts they were driving the ball up and down the field all game, the entire game. Once they got to the 10-yard line, they weren't letting him run within the 10-yard line just to keep him healthy for the playoffs. If he puts 2 of those 4 red zone drives that were field goals in his touchdowns, we win by 17. Like,
do we think Hurts stays healthy
for the game? Yeah, it's a sprained shoulder. He'll be fine. He played through it when he actually sprained it. He threw like 2 touchdowns. I think they were just saving him for the playoffs because they didn't want to mess around with getting him injured for the playoffs. He'll be fine.
All right.
I just don't think they wanted the wear and tear.
Thing that should be noted, though. So of the teams they have gotten the bye, they're 3-3. So statistically, Chiefs or Eagles, somebody needs to lose.
Yeah.
I'm taking the over with Justin. I think we could put up a ton of points now that Hurts is allowed to run. I'm also taking the Eagles -7.5.
Whoa.
Wow.
Why?
Wow.
And also, that's very smart because +7.5, they are just begging you to take. And I'm taking it.
It's gonna, here's what it's gonna be. Here's what's gonna be. The Eagles are gonna be up by a tutty, and all of a sudden they're going to ice the game. They're gonna make a field goal with like a minute left or something like that.
Yeah, put it to 10. and then
this will be an interesting game.
Yeah, Giants are going to have to score at the end, and they're not going to, and it's going to be a whole mess. You're right. I'm still doing Giants, but I hate it so much. Okay. They're begging you to take.
All right, MJ, read down the card. What did we all take?
All right, Ryan took the Giants 7.5. Justin took the over and the Giants 7.5. I took the over and the Eagles -7.5. Kevin, you took the under at 48.
Interesting, boys.
I'm so happy we're writing these down. So when I start making bets tomorrow, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, so you can, and my bookie can just put out my bets. Still have them.
Well, if your bookie were to talk to me, would you like these as singles or as parlays?
I think I would like them as singles.
All right, I'll see what's going on there. See if that's feasible. Okay, all right, next game.
Cincinnati at Buffalo. This game is really interesting for, a ton of reasons. Obviously, the last time these 2 teams got together, that crazy thing with Hamlin happened. The game wasn't finished. They never rescheduled it. So there's a lot there. We don't really have, we don't have that game to go off of. So we don't.
Why is this not a coin flip?
Interesting. But we're gonna go with Ryan's take here real quick. He's got the winner as the Bills. Both of these teams struggled more than expected last week against divisional opponents. I think Buffalo will eke this one out. Allen will limit his mistakes and keep pace with playoff Joe Burrow. He's betting the Bengals +5.5. Like the last game, it feels too large. Bengals have covered every Burrow playoff game and 8 straight total as an underdog. Playoff Cincy is just built different. Imagine saying that 4 to 5 years ago.
No.
Good point. Yeah. Where's what's his face? A former coach there, rolling in his grave. Marvin Lewis. But
that guy couldn't win a playoff game if it was rigged.
Couldn't do it at all. Just couldn't do it.
But him and Hugh Jackson were like the 2 people that were like the things that white people pointed to against the Rooney Rule. They're like, look at those 2 guys. They're going 8-8, or in Hugh Jackson's case, like 1-15, like 13 years in a row. How are they still working?
I'm okay, so I'll say this. So Buffalo
real quick. What's the over?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Over under.
What's the over?
40. Hold on. 49 even. I don't like these even numbers. I hate that.
Oh, line's 5.5. Line's 5.
Yeah, oh yeah, line's 5.5 for the Bills.
Okay, I'll say this. So the Bills. I think when we did our Super Bowl picks last week, I think they were mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the Bills were Super Bowl picks. But regardless, they scared the crap out of me last week. Playing against Skylar Thompson, who clearly, just went out there and was just like, I can just. There's nothing for that kid to lose, so might as well just go out and go crazy.
The Bills were horrible last weekend.
They looked really bad.
I was really concerned with how Josh Allen played.
Called that.
Again, I'm coming from the standpoint of like he's one of the last of the gunslinger type quarterbacks where he's just gonna kind of grip it and rip it and have his receivers go make plays. But I think sometimes I think sometimes he needs to be a lot safer with it, especially in those moments. Plus, he has the athletic ability to roll out and throw it away. So, like, he's got that in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, the fumble for the scoop and score. Just fall. Just pick it up and take the sack. Take the 20-yard loss. Fall.
Yeah.
That was a straight up Wentz
that
play.
Worried me. Yeah. That worried me. That being said, though, I do like Buffalo in this matchup. I think that, again, they're going to want to, they're still riding the Hamlin story, and we know that that's going to continue to carry them throughout the postseason. Playing the Bengals, though, this is a really tough game because playoff Joe Burrow is legit, and he is as cool as can be under pressure. He plays really well, so I like Ryan's pick at Bengals plus 5.5. And what was it, 49 over under?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to take the over and Bengals 5.5. But I do think the Bills squeak this one out.
Kevin, that's exactly what I picked.
Ooh.
Well, I didn't know that, so it's not really tailing, so don't worry about
it. You know what's funny? I was looking on covers.com and I'm like, what was the score of this game, the last game they played this season?
It's going to be
one that got canceled.
It's going to be possibly snowing and cold.
I mean, that's great. I mean, both these teams playing that, but so I don't know if that's
it's the over that's bothering me now. It's the over.
Well, how much snow? How much snow?
It has the little thing on it. Doesn't say.
A buffalo's worth.
A buffalo snow could be a foot.
6 feet.
That's what I'm saying. Because it's different. If it's like a few inches, it's not going to affect it. But if it's a few feet, then yeah.
I'm going one pick. Bengals money line. Bengals plus 200.
Wow.
I think that if Josh Allen has even close to similar game as he had against the Dolphins, which he might have just been playing down to his opponent, but if he makes any of those mistakes, they're not playing Skylar Thompson anymore. Joe Burrow's not giving up.
Here's the thing too about the Bengals that needs to be noted. They are down 3 starting offensive linemen. That none of them have practiced.
That's huge.
The Bengals.
And their offensive line was a mess last year. It's a mess this year. So the
Bills can get in the backfield.
They're definitely down 2. The third guy was questionable, but he did not practice yesterday. I have not seen any news today. But if off of yesterday's any indication, I don't think he practiced today.
I'm sticking with it.
All right. I love it.
I think T. Higgins is going to use his battering ram head to take out more.
Also, I think a great bet for this game is to live bet whatever. To live bet whoever's losing at halftime, throw money on them on the money line.
Yeah, look, comeback action, dude. Yeah. Last year, Kevin missed the best game of all time. That Bills Chiefs game. Yeah. You were at work, and then you came back, and you're like, "What is happening?" Because we're all literally on cast, like, "Oh my god!" I think there was like 21 points in 13 seconds or something.
Yeah, it was one of the best football games I've ever seen.
So I kind of hope the Bills win. I'd love to see a rematch of that. But
all right, so just quick rundown. Ryan took the Bengals plus 5.5. Justin took the Bengals money line. MJ and Kevin both took the Bengals plus 5.5 and the over. Oh man, it means they're gonna lose by 30. 3 of us have the plus 5.5.
Yeah, Justin.
Join the dark side.
All right, last game of the weekend. Dallas and San Francisco.
Actually,
it's going to be a weird one, boys. Ryan's saying he's got the winner as the 49ers, but he says this is a true toss-up. Both defenses are great. Both offenses trashed their opponents last week. But the real question is how Purdy handles the Dallas front seven. I think he'll have some struggles, but the offense just has too much firepower to be held down for long. Ryan's betting Dallas plus 3.5. He struggled on all ends of a bet for this, but kept coming back to yet another close playoff game. This one should be fun, and I think the Cowboys have the chops to keep it close. Plus 3.5 is almost asking for the Maher storyline to end with a crucial playoff miss. It really is.
Very true.
It really is.
Justin, what's the over?
So over under is 46.5, and now on Barstool it's plus 4 for the Cowboys. So that's even get an extra half point there.
Oh man. I'm taking Dallas +4.
All right. I'm definitely taking the over.
I'm taking Dallas +4 because, and I was going to go with the over too, but I think Brock Purdy's legit. I really do.
Kev, these are two different parlays, so that's why I'm going to do a money line or spread parlay and
nice.
then an over/under parlay.
Oh, nice. Purdy's been great, and I think that he deserves all the credit in the world. He's the best rookie quarterback this year, no doubt about it. Yeah, I said it, Justin. I said it because I agree with it. But
what?
Dallas handling the
Mr.
Dallas
Irrelevant.
Handling the Dallas front seven is going to be tough. I agree with Ryan there, and we're going to really see if this young guy can kind of handle the pressure of this, because this is not a wild card game where it's like your first playoff game. You've got the adrenaline mixed with the jitters. Now he's like, oh God, we're playing a NFC favorite, and there's a lot on the line here. So I don't know. The question is going to be how he reacts, how he does. I do think San Francisco can win this game, but I do think it's close. But I love the fact that it's +4 now. I think that's great.
The end of that game, or the beginning of that game, rather, against the Seahawks last week, they're down at halftime 17-16 to the Seahawks. Purdy looked bad. Didn't look good at all. Turns it on in the fourth quarter, ends up throwing for, I think, 4 touchdowns. But the beginning of that game, he looked like the last pick in the draft. He threw a kind of check down to McCaffrey, but other than that, everything else was not awesome. And I think that Dallas front seven could be tough.
He can't do that early against this defense.
Yeah. And the Niners line is struggling.
Okay.
But also Dak sucks butts.
So yeah. So what do you, Kevin, what is your official pick?
Dallas +4.
Okay.
In the wise words of Shady McCoy, Dak is ass.
Justin, what are you taking?
2.
All that to say, Purdy looked really bad last week for the first half, and San Francisco is going to win by 10 or more. So San Francisco -4. All that to say that I don't think it's going to matter.
Okay, I am taking the over at 46.5, and I'm also taking San Francisco -4 because again,
over as well.
Cowboys will do cowboy things. It will happen. They played an awful Tampa Bay team. The week before, you scored 6 points against Washington's backups. 6. Yeah. And I think they've broken 30 twice this year.
And Washington is a little bit more comparable of a defense to San Francisco than that Minnesota defense is the worst in the league. They just fired their D coordinator today. Also, they're a bad defense.
Another thing to bring in.
They fired everyone today.
Another thing to bring in is whatchamacallit. San Francisco has a Pro Bowl selection in every position group. They have a Pro Bowl selection in every position group.
They're more favored for a Super Bowl. I'm looking right now. They have to be more favored than the Eagles for the Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm. It's up there with them.
Because
those two.
Well, here's the thing: if you watch Dallas last week, before Tom Brady throws that one pick, their defense was gassed. Yeah. They slowed down a bit. They were gassed, and wasn't this the first year that the All-Pro team was voted on by the players, not by the NFLPA did the voting this year? Not
something like
And Micah Parsons did not make the Pro Bowl. Or I'm sorry, the
All-Pro team.
Yeah. So San Francisco's defense is filthy. And then you have a choice of Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, and then McCaffrey. So even if Purdy is a rookie and awful, even if he struggles, he's kind of got that same Tua mindset of, if I just get this ball across the line of scrimmage, somebody will catch it.
Yeah, they have advantages in the Dallas secondary is their weakness.
They have better receivers. They have a better running game. Quarterback play, I'll give it to Dak for experience, but right now it looks like Purdy.
Toss up, yeah.
Defense, I'll edge San Francisco out a bit. Special teams, though, they have a much more consistent kicker. So that may come into play.
That's true. This game, I mean, late playoff.
If it comes
games
down to
is all
kicks,
about-
it's over.
Yeah.
It's really
Well, here's the
screwed.
thing: Dallas brought in a kicker this week. I mean, if he
That's
misses
going
the
to kill his
first
confidence.
and if he misses the first extra point, you're pulling him. Like that's it. He's done.
They brought in a kick.
And it's
What
so
are they
surprising
doing?
Because Mar's actually a good kicker. That was just a really terrible game. He's
Yeah, he's
actually a
very
really
good.
good kicker.
He missed.
So-
He doubled his misses in that game for the year. Doubled his misses. In that game.
They also
I mean, I understand wanting to have
missed
some
him.
safety, but you're murdering that kid's confidence by bringing another dude in on a playoff week.
Also, if I
Dude.
hear Joe Buck pull up a ridiculous stat at the goal line, like this quarterback hasn't thrown
Yeah,
a
stop
pick,
doing that.
I will come through the screen.
I said
Sometimes
it all the
it's-
time. I can't stand Joe Buck.
I think he's the best, but I
He's awful.
No,
think-
I have no problem with him as an announcer, but stop saying dumb stats like that when you know it's going to lead to the opposite.
part of me is like, is this actually rigged? Because they do it so much now that I feel like it's like a announcer show, like, let's do a funny thing this time. I'm like,
He's made no. It's like any NCAA tournament. He's made 92 free throws in a row. Clank.
you're like,
The
no,
very next shot.
oh man, shouldn't have said that. And it's like, this happens almost every day now, though. So like, what are we doing? I think San Francisco by a lot, and also I just looked. The Eagles are 4th in championship odds.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
But here's the thing. Another
Bills,
thing with San
Niners.
Francisco too. San Francisco is better coached. It is better ran and has a better ownership group. I mean, straight to the top. Their ownership group does not interfere with their coach or their GM. Their GM has done an amazing job putting the team together, and their
John
coach
Lynch is insane.
coaches. Their coach. I mean, he's a.
Their coach, he's the best coach in the NFL. Period.
He's
I don't
great.
want to hear it.
He's great.
Oh yeah. I mean, he hasn't had a star QB, and look,
Made it to
they're
the Super
here every year.
Bowl
They're here
very
every year.
recently, a couple years ago, with Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance. He was doing stuff with now Brock Purdy. Like it doesn't matter who you have.
That's the true
Yeah.
system where you can say it's plug and play. As long as
Yeah.
someone's
Yeah,
comfortable.
yeah.
When Phil
Yeah.
Sims tried to make that statement that the Eagles offense was so good that Gardner Minshew could be plugged in, we lose 2 games in a row.
Yeah, and we found out. I thought we could. I thought there was a chance, but
That offense is truly driven around him. So just to run down the picks, Ryan took Dallas plus 3.5, but we will move it up to plus 4 unless he's already made the bet. Now we'll leave it at 3.5.
yeah.
Justin took San Francisco minus 4. I took the over at 46.5 and minus 4 for San Fran. Kevin, you're taking Dallas. It does not have 3
Plus
A's
4.
at plus 4.
Mhm. So that's what it looks like across the board for our bets this weekend. Now what we want to do, one of the things I think is going to be kind of fun is at the end of each of these is if we, one of the things that we do just when we're all hanging out is we just talk about crazy sports memories that we have. So I thought tonight we'd start with, in the spirit of the NFL playoffs, what is your biggest like playoff horrible experience? Like what is your worst playoff memory? I'll give you Ryan's first. He says he's picking the 2014 playoff loss for the Eagles to the Saints as his worst memory, simply because he doesn't think you or MJ are going to pick it, Justin. He says the team was actually very good. Foles, Shady, Sproles, Macklin, his 1,300-yard season, Jordan Matthews, Selleck, and Ertz leading the O, with Kelsey, Peters, and Lane on the O-line. Good defense by Cox, Barwin, Kendricks, Trent Cole, and Malcolm Jenkins. Saints were a tough out that year, but this one stung because it was the final nail of the Andy Reid era and proved Kelly wasn't a great hire, as Chip would take over as GM and gut the roster that offseason. What do you boys think about that one?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that one's pretty good. It was, I think that was that the Nick Foles? I think it was. I think that was the Nick Foles 27-2 year where he threw 27 touchdowns, 2 picks.
That was a great year.
Is that the year he also had the 6 touchdowns in one game?
I think. I remember against Oakland. Let me look. I can actually look real quick. Oakland, let's see. I know it was against Oakland, but maybe not. It might not have been the year. But yeah, like he was out of his mind, and we still had some of the good players, the good holdover players. I think anytime we played the Saints, though, I always was just assuming we were going to lose. That was a team like we could never beat. And it reared its ugly head again the year after we won the Super Bowl when Alshon let that pass go through his hands and they got the interception. It was just anytime we play the Saints, we're always like bound to lose. So yeah, that was a tough one.
MJ, what's your worst playoff memory?
It involves you. All right, so 2003 season going into the 2004 Super Bowl. Okay, the Eagles. I forget who the Eagles beat before the NFC Championship. But I remember walking into school. They won by a field goal. Holding up a newspaper that said "It's good." Going to the NFC title game. We proceed to lose to Tampa Bay 27-10, and someone on this cast, Kevin, walks into school the next day because the Super Bowl was in Houston that year. Front page of the paper, Houston, we have a problem. It was the most gut-wrenching. I wanted to stab you in that classroom, but I couldn't.
Our friendship
That is my
survived
worst. I mean, you can honestly loop as my worst playoff experiences those 3 years where we lost back-to-back, championships, basically, where we had the best defense in the league by far, and we just couldn't get it put together. It's also, I know it's not as bad as the Bills. They got to the Super Bowl and lost 4 straight times, but that team should have had at least one Super Bowl. At least that defense was so good.
It's also funny to think about those years and then what happened right after those and how we were complaining. We kept making the NFC Championship game, and then we had the years of like Mark Sanchez starting for us and Foles like bad years and Matt Barkley sometimes, like Sam Bradford. Yeah. And I was like, I would kill for an NFC Championship loss right now.
This shows you how good our defense was, though. And that, again, I think McNabb's he's in the top 3 quarterbacks to ever play for the Eagles. You might throw him at number 1, but we could argue that. But you got NFC Championship 2002. We lose to St. Louis 24-29. Okay, not our defense's best showing. The next year, we lose to Tampa Bay 27-10. We only put up 10 points. Are you kidding me? And that was the Tampa Bay team that you cannot name a starter off that team. Yeah. Besides Warren Sapp,
it also hurt you that Billy's the Tampa Bay fan.
Yeah. Now the next year, here's another reason. We lost to Carolina 14-3. Our defense gave up 14 points and we couldn't put more than 3 points on the board. Come on.
And those were the years, though, it was very Steelers-esque, where if our defense was good, our offense was trash, and if our offense was good, our defense was a sieve. Like those were the Pinkston Thrash. Who else? Basket was.
But you had
wasn't that what year? Oh, it was 2000. It was 2005 when Trotter murdered Reggie Bush in the middle of the field.
Oh yeah. He ruined him.
I think that was the last.
Was that last game? That was a Sheldon Brown, right?
Corner. Oh, Sheldon Brown.
He decapitated him, and he was crawling around on the ground trying to catch his breath.
That was also the game where Trotter did his flex in the middle of the field, and he had that's when they weren't testing people for steroids. He had 24-inch biceps.
They did not care. Sense.
All right, Kevin, what's yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might as well break up all the Eagles ones.
Yeah.
So I started watching games with my dad probably around the 2000-2001 season. And so
my first Steelers memories, you as his son.
My first Steelers memories were all about Cordell Stewart. Before Michael Vick. So here's a quarterback who's running around. He's able to make crazy plays. He was really fun to watch. That was my first experience with Steeler football, and I loved it. And in 2001, we get to the conference championship, which we lose to the Broncos. And then in 2002, after week 4, Cordell Stewart's replaced by Tommy Maddox, who still takes us to the playoffs, and we lose in the divisional round against the Titans. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Well, wouldn't you know, we draft this wonderful guy out of Miami, Ohio, and he has this crazy rookie of the year season.
Wonderful quarterback. I don't know about guy.
I think has this incredible rookie season. The Steelers become the number 1 seed in the 2004-2005 season, and end up rolling into the playoffs. They have a close one in the divisional against the New York Jets, But then they go ahead and play New England, this upstart New England with Tom Brady. And we're riding high, though, because it's Pittsburgh. And we're back. We have more faith in Ben Roethlisberger, a rookie, than we did in Cordell Stewart, a veteran, or Tommy Maddox, a veteran. Things are looking good. And we just get the doors blown off us at Heinz Field, 41-27. And I just remember sitting there with my dad wearing, so I had a Cordell Stewart jersey. And then right when Ben got drafted, my parents had bought me a Big Ben jersey. So I'm sitting there in this oversized Big Ben jersey, just sitting there watching the game. I'm pumped. He's been killing it all year. And he throws, I'll never forget the play. He rolls out, he throws this soft, he's done it 18 times in his career. This soft floater pass that just gets picked off and run back like 80 yards for a New England touchdown.
The way, Kev, I know exactly what pass you're talking about. When he throws that, if the safety's downfield trailing someone, that person has time to run the entire way back and be in the mix to pick that ball off. That's how long.
Well, the best part was on the sideline. They had a Russ Grimm, the O-line coach, mic'd up, and he's like, "No, damn it, Ben!" he's like, "Why? Why would you throw that ball?" And I just remember my dad walking past me. I was getting ready for bed. My dad came in. He's like, "That was a tough one," and I was like, "Dad, is this what it's like to be a Steeler fan?" Like, we get so close. He's like, "I mean, the 70s were great." And then he goes to bed. And I was like, all right, you know what? I don't need this. It obviously went better next year. We won the Super Bowl, but that was tough. That was hard to watch. I will mention John Musters because he mentioned it to us earlier. Another Steeler memory, which is definitely my second place, is the Tebow play. That overtime, first play in overtime, Tim Tebow just
the best defense in the league. Tebow goes like 10 of 13 for 275 and 3 tutties.
He found Demaryius Thomas on a freaking streak.
Dude, that was his best thrown football of his football career. So get rid of Florida, get rid of high school. That ball was on the money.
It was so good.
It was beautiful.
Like Taylor's like, where is it? Yeah, that was bad.
Oh, yeah.
So that was definitely my worst.
Yeah.
All right, Justin.
Mine. So I think the easy one would be the 2004, 2005, whatever that would have been, whatever year you want to consider that, Super Bowl against New England. But I looked back, we weren't favored in it. And I listed in our group chat all the guys on that New England defense. That New England defense was just insane. Like, we weren't going to
read them off, Justin. You had it. Read them off.
It was Rodney Harrison, Teddy Bruschi, Willie McGinnis, Asante Samuel, Vince Wilfork. It's like 6 or 7 Hall of Famers.
We lost that game because of Donovan McNabb.
Because of Donovan McNabb, but also if you look back at it, he had 357 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, but he had 3 picks.
Matter.
It was just a gunslinging
game. If you're vomiting, get off the field. We had 2 solid backups. We had to get within 55 yards.
And why was he vomiting?
We had the best kicker in, besides Vinatieri, we had Akers, the best kicker in football. Get him within 55 yards. We're tying that game. Get him within.
He was hungover though.
He's literally puking on the field. Wait, who's our backups? Thrash and
Hoying? Or no, Hoying.
Thrash was a receiver, and he was one of our backups.
No. Oh,
Feely and
that's right.
Yeah, Super Bowl
2004 Eagles QBs. Coy Detmer.
Coy was trash though.
But
Coy was
both of those guys could have run the offense to get us to within 55 yards.
Maybe.
Like no, it's the Super Bowl.
Coy Detmer could have gotten the ball down the field.
But it's a Super Bowl. There's a minute left. We are down by 3. Come on.
But that's not even mine. Mine is actually the year after, or 2 years after, whatever it was, that we won the Super Bowl. We go in, I'm at the game, Seahawks, Eagles. We sneak into the playoffs. We're 9-7. Don't have a ton that we're, meant to do, but Wentz gets us into the playoffs. And I'm like, all right, we got playoff Wentz now. He's healthy. We're good to go. Feeling good about it. Seattle drives down like 7-8 minute drive, just deflates all the energy out of the building to start the game. And they get down to the like 30-ish, and we finally get a stop. They kick a field goal, we block it. Place goes insane. We're like, holy crap, they just drained all that clock, and they're a much better team than us, and now they just lost all that time and they didn't even get points. Wentz, hands it off. Second play, drops back, nothing's there, runs it 5 yards, and Javion Clowney takes his helmet and spears him in the back of the head so hard into the ground. Like, Wentz was literally like getting tackled. He's falling to the ground, and Clowney literally just like, he would have got tossed.
And nothing was called, right?
Nothing's called. Nothing's called at all. Wentz gets up, he's doing the Tua wobble, and he plays the rest of the drive, but he's throwing things into like the stands, and we're like, what the hell is happening there? And then you're in the stadium though, so you're not getting the whole run of like, oh look, Wentz looks hurt, blah blah blah. So he finished the drive, so you're like, oh, he's good. And then the Seahawks do their thing, they go 3 and out, and then all of a sudden you're like, who's going into the huddle right now? Is that Josh McCown? So I'm like frantically checking Twitter. I'm like, God damn it, not right now. Check Twitter, and they're like, Wentz is out for the game. So the rest of the game.
Is that the game he tore his hamstring?
Tore his hamstring on a scramble. They only lose by 8.
When he went up for the scramble, and we're like, why is he running so slow?
He tore his hamstring on a scramble, so he wasn't even mobile anymore. He was like a sitting duck back there. But they lost 17-9. But I feel like if they win that game, they had a chance at winning at least 1 or 2 more in that playoffs if they had Wentz. But it was heartbreaking because it was hype. Everything was awesome. I was like, you know what? Wentz maybe not that bad. Then he got speared in the back of the head. And I was like, well, that's the end of him and end of the franchise. Turned out it was all right, but that was a big Wentz guy.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Wentz. He might not start next year.
I don't think he's going to get a job.
I don't know if he's going to be on a team. His contract.
It's not only that he's had such a downfall. He's apparently still has a huge locker room issue.
Which I didn't believe it with the Eagles, but if every other team is saying it too, then I guess he would have had to. Because for the Colts to give up a 21 touchdown, 7 interception quarterback for Matt Ryan is like, I guess.
Well, to
be
that
fair,
front,
Matt Ryan
Jim Irsay's out of his mind.
Yeah,
that family has been out of their mind since they snuck out of Baltimore.
That owner Jim Irsay makes Jerry Jones looks like if
Jesus.
I don't want to say this. If Irsay's the hovering parent that is constantly there, he makes Jerry Jones look like he doesn't check on his children whatsoever. And Jerry Jones has a media show where he talks as if he's the coach.
Yeah.
So yeah,
dude. But they're if they can't get another veteran quarterback, right?
No,
like they have to draft one this year, right? Like,
they gotta go young now.
It's complete rebuild.
You can't do Rivers, Wentz, Ryan, and then go for a fourth and be like, you know what, Rodgers, come on over. Like Brady, come on over, man. It's like, no, stop.
Ew, can you imagine Brady in a Colts uniform?
Could you imagine Brady in a Raiders uniform?
Can you imagine Brady in a Raiders, Dolphins, Tennessee Titans?
I don't know.
I've also heard
Texans?
the big one that's heating up right now is Carolina, and that if they get Brady, Carolina will trade for Hopkins because they'll have the cap space. That gets real interesting because their running game in Carolina came on at the end of the year.
I think Miami's the best play. Can you imagine him throwing to Tyreek and Jalen Waddle?
He still, I think this year had not the record, but he still led the league in plus 20-yard passes.
Yeah.
Wow.
His line was just decimated, so.
Yeah.
Can't
do anything.
Yeah. Nice to relive those horrible football memories that I'm sure will haunt us for the rest of our lives.
I hate you.
I'll try and pick a fun one for next time. All right. Good luck this weekend to all of you putting money on these games. It's going to be a crazy one. So.
Oh, hey, real quick before we jump off, at least you weren't the moron that put $1.4 million on the Chargers at halftime to win $11,000. At least you weren't.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
No.
It can never be worse than that.
Nope.
All right, y'all.